Okay, guys, so we just spoke about the fire hazard, anyway, of the Sonic pad. Here we got a package from Amazon. I'm just going to go ahead and open this up on camera. That way, in case there's something wrong with it. They make these bags reusable, but then they put the label all over everything. And sometimes they don't put it where you need it. Okay, so this is a direct drive extruder. The whole thing. And I'm hoping they'll even give you tools, the extension wires. But what they don't do anymore, and they don't have them like they are in the ad anymore. In the ad, the bracket went like an S shape, and it supported the entire motor all the way. So the problem with this design here is that you have this plastic extruder, and this plate is useless because you cannot compensate for any changes in the thickness of the extruder. But it was $27. It comes with everything. So you get a hot end, you get a tip, a sock, fan, another fan, stepper motor, new wheels, plastic extruder. And so the old version that they were selling that's in the reviews is completely different. This could still be configured to a different setup. Basically, let me show you. We'll come over here. This is just an extension of this bracket here. So trying to get this thing to sit. So this one here is the same thing. So you're going to be stuck using this plastic thing. You're not going to be able to put a dual gear on there. If you do, it'll sit out too far, I think. It's possible it might not, but the thing that I didn't like is like the original had the motor completely supported in 4 places, and the motor went in between the bracket and the extruder. And I'm going to see if I can find really quick the item. Okay, so I'll come over here and look at these brackets. I've been printing lots of different brackets to just try them all out. There's obviously differences between things. I really don't feel like the purchase that I just made is really probably worth it because, well, the issue is the extruder itself in the first place. And then we go direct drive and then put a plastic extruder on it, and we're asking for a failure eventually. So you need to upgrade that to the metal Creality one, I guess, or you 3D print the parts that you need and just use it. And I mean, it depends. Do you want reliability? Do you want performance? You know, what do you want? So anyway, let me see if I can get into Amazon here real quick, and I'll show you the exact one that I bought. So let's see here. I'll have this coming because it was missing parts, so that'll be here tomorrow. Okay, so right here it is. Official Creality Ender 3 Direct Drive Extruder Kit. Now the picture is accurate in the picture. And it's a hell of a deal considering what you get. If you pieced it all together separately, it'd be pretty bad. Boy, this thing is really not happy today. So it's $27 plus tax. There's even one that's even $26.99 or something. But if we go in here and we look at the reviews, it's not responding. Okay. There we go. Okay, so in the reviews, they're showing a different one. Come on. Come on. What in the hell? I didn't click on that. Boy, I don't know what the hell's up with the internet or Amazon, but I can't get this thing to open. It's just been sitting here. I've closed out all sorts of stuff. Tried to restart everything. It's like, come on, I just want to see the pictures. It's like they're not showing up. They're just sitting here frozen. It's really hard to show you guys this. And it's like I got better things to do than sit here and watch Amazon paint dry. It's like it's not responding. So let me see if we can just actually like go ahead and zoom in on this. Still not responding. So there's some issues with this one, and it's like okay, see right here, you can see right here, this one here, the bracket comes up like that, and it supports the entire bit of the motor. Now you're still going to have the same issue with this one as far as like if the other type of extruder is going to fit or not. So like basically a lot of these wouldn't really make a difference. You'd still need to print a bracket. You see this guy had a problem with the BL Touch because of the bend that comes up. So they're not selling that one anymore though. You can't get that one. See right here, it shows the back of it. So this isn't what you're gonna get. I don't know if this one's probably floating around on eBay or AliExpress still. I think this is a better design in some ways. The other one that I got is fine as long as it will support the weight, you know. But these are definitely different. So, what I don't like about it is I just don't like the plastic. They could have shipped this with their metal one. But I mean, at the price, I mean, you know, I don't even know how they can do it at all. But I guess slave labor, maybe. So this one here, I mean, I don't know if the belt's going to be the same either. But so I'm going to put this on my Ender 3 Pro. And when it already has the BL Touch. And it's got the newer 4.2.7, and it's got custom firmware on it too. I don't remember what firmware it has. It's just kind of a cool looking one. So, and I think this printer has seen a lot of use. These new wheels, they move really nice compared to the ones I took off of the other printer yesterday. So, this printer here is pretty cool. I really do like it. Now, this still actually has the original plastic, and it hasn't failed on this one. And I think Dave added the Bowden tube, but and the Capricorn probably. I printed a couple things on this, and then it didn't have any issues, so I just set it aside, and I've been dealing with the ones that just don't want to work. But I've got all kinds of brackets that will work on this. So like this one here will go this way. It'll allow you to move the motor a different direction. That's kind of why I was like, this is sort of a waste of money. Because in reality, this bracket here will do everything that will do and more. Because I can put it on here. So I'm not gaining anything with this. I've already got all these parts. The only thing that you're getting for $27 is new wheels that you don't already have, and a bracket that's a little bit different. So you can see the bracket just comes up further. And I mean, that's pretty simple to print something like that. So but I figured, well, we'll just order it and see. So, you know, it's kind of a simple arrangement. The there's a sticker on the front. Okay. It's like, for a second I thought maybe it was plastic. So, I mean, for $27, that's pretty good, because I don't know what the fans cost. I don't know what the stepper motor is. I think stepper's about $12. I think the wheels, you'd get a set of them for like $10 with more. But then you like get the hot end and all that, would cost you probably $12. So let's just say like $12 for this, $12 for the bracket, $12 for the hot end, $12 for the fan and wheels. You know, like, let's see, so that's like 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'd be like 40 or $50, I think, probably, to piece that together. So I'm not really sure if this is worth installing it, because if I use this one and I just put one of these brackets on here, a couple different ones will work. They got this kind, and so what it depends on is, see that distance there between the tube? It depends on which, that'll sit there like that. It depends on which extruder you're going to use. I honestly think it's probably simpler to stick with the non-dual gear, because then your E-steps will be a little bit closer. And I don't think you're going to gain a lot of performance. So this one here would need to be reprinted, but it's a prototype, so it would probably work for the stock plastic one. So I would remove the BL Touch bracket, put this on here, and it would probably be good. And then you could go direct drive. Then there's these that are adjustable, which I'm going to try and print a better one. I printed it on the SV07 and it just didn't really like it. So you could go all the way back here, or you go all the way right about there. And I think this one would probably work the best. I think this is the one that we should be using, because it will fit other printers. And it's better to have something that fits everything and you can kind of adjust it and fiddle with it. So I'll need to do another one of those. The cool thing about this one is, normally if you were to print it like that, it would print with no supports. If I modify the file on this one and remove that drop, this one too could be printed just like that. I think it would print fine. So I'm not sure if I'm going to convert this with that or what I'm going to do. But I mean, like, it's just kind of fun projects. Like, I'm not fixing this or souping it up to actually use it to print anything, because it's not really fast. So I don't know that I can ever really make this thing acceptably fast. But it's definitely a cool deal for the price. I don't really see any other issue with it other than that plasticky crap. And it looks like there's a special bracket in between here. Yeah, so you may be in for even more of a treat. Let's go take a look at the other stuff that showed up, because I'm wondering, now that I'm looking at this and I'm looking at this and I see this piece in between here, I can also see that this thing's at an angle. Okay. Alright, so get this other deal here. Okay. I checked it really quick earlier in case I needed to order a replacement. MK8 extruder kit, red. US, made in China. No. Okay. Now, this one's partially assembled too, which they don't show in their ad. I don't know if it's just normal for them to be assembled like this now, but there's some wear marks right here. Maybe factory dirt. The gear has got a chamfer on the bottom. I don't really feel like these are going to be an issue, even though everybody says they are. This looks used, and that's just because that's where it pivots at. But it's hard to say. Wait. Or is it? No, it's not. Well, yeah, it is. So it'd pivot over here. I don't know what they do with these. Like, some of the stuff that I see on these is just like weird quality control. So we've got both the gears this time. But what I want to see, so none of this really matters here. I just need this part here. One of these that I ordered was supposed to have the fitting on both sides, and neither one of them do. Okay, so assuming they have not compensated for that, so I don't know. I mean, you'd be really hard pressed to fit this other thing on here. Like, I don't see how you would ever do it. With the old bracket, I think you could. See, because the old bracket, you would put this on the top. But also, this is up too high either way. Now, if I think... Let's see here. Looking at that like that. So I think if you got some really long screws, I think you can make it work. Except for now, your motor's going to stick out the back. So you can't use this design. We won't be able to use it with this. There's no way. These are just too big. So, unless you really have to have the dual gear, you know, I don't see how you're going to make it work. Oh, wait, no, actually it won't matter. I was thinking of it the other way. My other printer has the motor in the back, and it's got like a Titan extruder. I actually kind of like that design a little bit better. Let me show you guys that really quick. So I like this design better because you can see the thing going, except for it doesn't have a visualizer wheel. But this also, another reason I bought this is because I wanted to see, this is a direct swap for this thing. So you can tell that they borrowed from this idea extensively. But this printer, I think, came out in 2019 or 2020, and considering everything that they put on it, it was ahead of its time. A larger, more custom kind of fan, a Titan extruder, a knockoff, a filament runout sensor. And they just kind of like, you know, did this cable management that made no sense. But you got dual steppers, you know, 310 by 310. You know, it's a good size deal. Touchscreen. But so anyway, so what I wanted to see is, okay, if we put this on here, is my print head and all that going to be in the same spot? Because, like, this is a good replacement, I think, for this. And if you're having problems with this extruder and you can't find one, then this is like the easiest, simplest solution, because it's a common Creality extruder. And so, like, this one here, they got a metal version of this, and I think the only thing that's going to happen on this is the arm will break, and I can just print one. I've already got a bunch of them printed up, so I think that that's not really a big deal. So I'm trying to see here if I'm looking at this. And what it has to do, what you need to worry about is where the belt meets and where the nozzle is. And so here it looks like the nozzle is just almost all the way to that wheel. But on this printer, the nozzle is right smack in the middle. And that's because they use this type of extruder. So when you get into this kind of crap, that's when things start to be a problem. You see this one's off to the side. So they made it differently. And I mean, a lot of the stuff's just not going to be plug and play, but if you know, you can figure out stuff and design things, then you can make it work. But so I think what would happen if you put this one on here, your print head would be in the wrong spot. It would still work. And it depends on where the belt goes, because like the belt is just a hair off from the print nozzle. So it's really hard to see it here, but I can see it. There's the belt clips. So the belt is pretty much smack in the middle on this. And then on this one, it's not. So and then it's also quite a bit forward to accommodate for that third piece there. So your center and forward on this printer, this one, your back and over. So if you're going to do any kind of weird fiddling with different types of printers, these are things that you need to be aware of. So if you can sit here and play around with it and adjust the numbers in the slicer, then you get it to work. But otherwise what happens is it'll run off the bed or something, just different things. So that's kind of why I like to stick with a certain thing. And like there's lots of firmware available. It's like this printer here. This is the Sunlu. And it's got Creality like parts on it, but it's different. And so the computer is weird and software is weird. And there's only so much you can do. Now this one here has a stock metal version of a Creality, which is what I would want to use on that, and just swap it to that. So this is a single gear, and I think, see, this is the kind of design that I think is just super simple on these. Now you can see the tube isn't completely straight down, and it's not as close as it could possibly be with this design, but I mean, it works. The bracket goes in between here, and I think the spacers are still there. So, and then your motor goes here. You just drop it straight down. It's just, doing all this is silly because you can't upgrade anything. So this one here, I guess you wouldn't be able to upgrade either, so, you know. And then it's this ridiculous sensor that was over here. But all this was over here. So basically, no money. You print this bracket, you put it on here, you know. And you can do the same thing with this one here, you know. And the main thing is whether or not this cable is going to fit. Now, you can take this cable here. You see it goes all the way back down there. And you can just split it off the rest of the ribbon. And it will probably reach. So, it just depends on whether or not you want to do that. But when you get this, you got to rewire everything, but they do give you a cable extension. So I thought about doing it. It's like, well, I'll just use the cable extension. They're charging a lot of money for these cable extensions. And I'll just put one of these parts on here. Like, I think the easiest one. So the question with these is, well, are they going to interfere with the sensor? And I think like that one will probably fit. So I think you could probably put this one on here, right? And then you could put the dual gear, and I think it would be fine. And it would reach. And you wouldn't need any of that. If anything, you just need a cable extension. Yeah, look at that. So this is the perfect one for this. And it is going to sit really close. It's going to sit like that. Yep. That's what you'd want to do with this. There's no reason to install that. So, and you don't even have to use that one. You could use one of these instead. I just like this design a little bit better. So you could use this one. I'm sorry, wrong way. And you'd be able to adjust it if it has any kind of variance. And then if you wanted to use a different extruder, you could go ahead and move it. So I think that one's a good choice. This one here is going to be a little harder for me to try and mock it up. So I think they potentially wanted this to sit right there. I don't know. It looks like it to me. You get the BL touch sensor down here. And you're going to line that up there. It's going to be a little bit too far. So I think this was designed for the regular extruder. So there's a 3D printed regular extruder. Let me get it right there. Yeah, it's going to drop right down in there. So this bracket would be usable for that. If I wanted to just take what I have right now, I could do that. The thing I don't like about this, I don't need this extension for the BL touch sensor, but the way that they printed it, I guess they wanted to do that because it needed more support. So it's kind of a cool idea, but it's overly complicated because, well, you have this part here where the wires go through and the touch sensor goes down there, and these aren't threaded, and they're printed too big to accept those. So you would again be needing to make modifications. So it's a cool design. I think the motor should be to the side. Personally, don't really care for it to be in the front like that. I either like it to be in the back like this, halfway between, and the extruder in the front. So now I think this is like a CR10 design. So they're all, it's like they just like do this, do that. Oh, let's make ours a little bit different. It's like this one here has some different hot end in it, you know. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, so I probably wouldn't recommend buying this unless you just like really need all the other parts. If you're gonna go direct drive, like you've already got everything you need, just print a bracket. So And this is going to take longer to do because you're going to have to take everything off. You're going to have to change your belt, and you're going to need to run the wires to the bottom of it. With this, you take these two palm wheels off of here. You put this bracket on here. Move your extruder and your stepper motor, put it on here. Use whatever one you want to use. Get it to where it needs to be. You can add set screws in the end to keep it locked in. Or if you don't want to use that one, you can use one like this. And just make sure it fits the extruder you're going to use. So these two here will work perfectly fine. I think this one here is a bad idea. I'll try to provide links to everything in the description. I'm not going to get it in there right away, so if you're seeing this video and you look down the description and it's not there, it will be there eventually. So we'll catch you later. That's just kind of, I wanted to just kind of do a thorough overtake on this because I know people are looking at these. They're $27. It seems like a great deal, but in reality, it's really a waste of money because you're getting a plastic extruder with some kind of proprietary spacer between it. And it's just kind of, in my opinion, it's junk. So, I don't see any reason to use this. You need that spacer there. And you're holding this weight, which this thing is quite heavy, all on those two little screws. So, I think it's a poor design.